one woman, I think he's at like 900 or something.
Some phrases that men hate to hear. God, the big ones hurt. Yeah, what up, good people? Welcome to another episode of the Strategically Reckless Podcast. I am your host, Jay Brown, a.k.a. your favorite foster dad, a.k.a. Mr. 710, and I am so glad that you are joining me once again. Yeah! Hey, y'all, listen. So, man, I got one of the shows for y'all today. It might ruffle a few feathers, but you're going to laugh. Before we get up out this thing, go ahead and let you know. Also, listen, I'm going to just go ahead and get right into it. On today's show, we talking about UFC 250. And if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. We also going to talk about this post-vacation recap. We talking about airplane fails. We going to talk about the reaction to Karmelo Anthony. And not the basketball player, as well as an NBA Finals recap. It's a lot going on today's show, but I'm glad that you are here with me today. Because you know what? Last week I was in them streets. I was outside. As a young people would say. Uncle was outside. I'm talking about I was outside in another country. Wilding a little bit. But having a good time. We back. What up, cuzzo? Hey, I'm gonna tell you something funny. Charmaine. There was a girl that worked at the all-inclusive resort where we were staying. And she kind of favored the daughter a little bit. She was like the, I don't even know how to say it, Curaçaoan, Caracan version of your daughter. It was hilarious. But I would just walk up to her and call her cousin. And if I was in the mood to snipe that video of her, I probably would have, but I ain't even do it this time. I ain't even do it. But look, okay. So when you go on vacation, it's almost like you need a vacation from your vacation. I ain't want to think that I was weird, yo. That's why I ain't taking no vacation. That's why I ain't taking a sniper picture. I didn't want to think that I was weird. But, all right, so you know how when you get back from a vacation, you about need a vacation from your vacation. Because that first day back be whooping your ass, especially if you need to catch up on a whole lot of stuff that you ain't get done, or that not that you left, but you just couldn't do it while you were gone. Listen, I'm wilding. Bing. There we go. Let's do that. All right. Yeah, and so when we got back, I knew I had about 100 shirts. Had over 100 shirts waiting on me, which is fine. I am not complaining, not one bit. That was the plan. I was working. I was actually working while I was out there. Like, listen, I get up earlier. I get up earlier than everybody anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and get a little work done, which I did. But, so, yeah, I got a whole lot of stuff waiting on me. So, listen, if you know Charmaine, real quick, and you see her acting like she's taking a selfie, you might as well go look in the mirror and make sure ain't nothing wrong with you. Because she might be taking a picture of you. That's what she said. There's a 37% chance that she's taking a selfie. Otherwise, it might be about you. And so, that's funny. I never thought about that. Go ahead and pop that selfie. Bam. All right. And so here's the problem when you come back and you got to deal with the chocolate Menendez kids. And one of those things are when they've been in trouble, and you know that they've been in trouble while you've been gone, so you got to talk about it when you see them again. It's just something else. You can't even just ease back into the groove of things. You can't even be like, "Hey, I'm so happy to see y'all." So you want to tell me about? Yeah, that's kind of that's kind of how it went. So when I was like, "Hey, what's up, buddy?" I picked up the oldest one. "What up, brother? Appreciate it." Picked up the younger of the two Chocolate Menendez brothers. "Hey, man, how's it going, man?" He was like, "I had a good day, Mr. Jason." Okay, that's dope. I let him get that off. Then it was like, "Hey, so tell me about your week." "I had a good week." "So you ain't getting in trouble at all?" "No, I ain't getting in trouble at all. I had a good week." Damn. So you ain't get in trouble at all. Like, no, you ain't choke your brother. You ain't spit on him. You ain't do nothing. Nope. I ain't do none of that. Come on, man. Like, I've seen you less than 3 minutes at this point, and you're gonna peeled off 8 lives. Just, I've been saving these for you, Mr. Jason. I ain't know when I was gonna see you again, but I gotta let you catch up. But yeah, I wish it was Raw Dog of the Truth, and not Paul Pierce. Like, that's crazy. But I'm talking about just peeling them off, and you know what? I ain't no good because I kept asking him questions, hoping that, oh, he might know that I know because of what he's asking, but he ain't never catches it. I'm like, "Hey, so what would your brother say if I asked him?" "I had a good week." "Okay. So what if he say something different? Which one of y'all are lying?" "Maybe me." Damn. Maybe me is not the correct answer. Pick up his brother. We go through the same thing. His brother got in trouble today at daycare. So when I pull up and was like, "Hey, so show me what you was doing back there," dude started crying. And I'm like, "No, they said you was laughing when you was doing what you was doing. So I need to see you do that because maybe I want to laugh." And they never want to do it again. I mean, I kind of understand it because it's mildly embarrassing when you got to try to do that nonsense in front of your parents. But if you can't do it in front of me, then you don't need to be doing it. Period. I don't care what it is. I know Julian trying to think of something funny in the chat right now. I ain't worried about that. No. Should not be doing it. They both crying in the back seat, hollering like they had gotten beat on. And I'm like, y'all know this ain't gonna change nothing. I'm gonna go ahead and roll these windows down and turn this radio up so that I can let everybody know what y'all doing in the back seat. I could just go ahead and let them know. They all gonna be on my side anyway. He crying because he was making fun of his teacher. That's why he crying, and he crying because I asked him if he was lying. So yeah, I'm straight. I'll be safe. They come like right back on it. Maybe me is comedy. Look, immediately they won less than 10 minutes after seeing them. They was like, "Yep, we ready." They was on so much nonsense that they had to go to bed at 7:15. They was sleepy. They was sleepy. And they was like, hey, 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 Butterscotch Menendez, baby, you ready for bed? Yep. All right, everybody go to bed. You too. You know what? Well, what's wrong with the teacher? No, 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 no. See, the oldest Chocolate Menendez brother was mocking the teacher. The oldest Chocolate Menendez brother was getting told to sit down, and he'd be like, "Sit down. All right, that's enough. You need to be quiet. That's enough. You need to be quiet." Oh, see, you don't know how to win that. That's an easy win on this one. My name is Loud Chocolate Menendez, and I want to be in trouble, so I'll keep saying what I say. I keep saying what the teacher says, so when I say it again, then I'll just go ahead and be in trouble when Mr. Jason get there. He's not gonna say that. He's not gonna say that whole thing. I know the game. I know the game. But I'm not gonna. When you're a teacher, you can't play them games with the kids like that. Just let them know they're gonna be in trouble. That's cool. He ain't gonna do all that repeating though. And so I tell you what, I shouldn't have been this happy. But the day before we left, I dropped them Chocolate Menendez brothers off at their respite, and my whole car got lighter. Like the whole car got lighter. I was floating on the way home. Phew. I called my dad. He was like, "Dad, you sound like you happy. What happened?" "Just dropped the Chocolate Menendez brothers off, Pops. Shoot, it's vacation time. I came up for nothing. You can't tell me every day we lit." I immediately went into vacation mode. Listen, y'all gonna be proud of me. I packed early. She didn't even have to wait on me. I packed early. I beat her packing. For the win. I beat her packing. Now, hold on. Well, early is, see, normally, here's my normal. I normally get done packing probably about maximum 8-9 hours before we get ready to leave. If not, like if we get ready to leave early, like our flight is early. If our flight, let's say our flight leaves at 7:15, which means we gotta get to the airport at 5 something. I'll be done packing at about 12:15. About 12:15. That's when I get done packing. I won't forget stuff. Listen, I tell you what, for this trip, I packed that. I wore 97% of the stuff I brought. Very efficient number. Very, very efficient number. I had a couple extra pair of drawers, a couple extra pair of socks, and 2 extra outfits. Just in case. You never know what was going to happen. Here's why I say that. On our first flight, and you know what? So here's what happens when I miss something. No, I ain't missed none of that stuff, twin. What I did was I left the toothpaste out because I was done already for Naya to use when she woke up. Because she wasn't even in vacation mode. Her alarm clock went off that morning, and I was like, hey, baby, your alarm clock is going off. She says, no, and goes back to sleep. But it's my fault because I had it in the bag. I took it out for her. Now, where they got, and then I finished packing. So it was on her to put it in her bag. She wanted us to have that dragon all week. You remember that episode where Martin was like, Gina, what you need this for? What you need this for? And she was like, that's my toothbrush, Martin. And what you need this for? If they can smell your breath, they too close. Not me with the props right there. That was pure freestyle. But look, on the first flight, we make it on time. Now, we was a little bit later than the people that we were traveling with. But, if it was my fault, that would have been the headline of the vacation. Jason makes us late to the airport. But here's the deal. We get to the airport, we board our flight. Bam, we ready to go. We pull off from the gate. I done closed my eyes already. Next thing you know, we stop on the tarmac and start turning around. Because this white dude want to try and die on the plane. He out here having a heart attack. They done, boom. We are looking for someone in the medical profession. Is there a doctor or a nurse on the plane? Oh, hell. So we stop the plane, turn around and go back to the gate. And they working on this man. They ain't got him laid out. He's still in the chair. They bringing bags of ice and putting it on his neck. They done brought out the blood pressure cuff. I'm like, y'all got blood pressure cuffs on the plane? Dang. Shout out to Delta. But we pull back in, and he's sitting here. He is trying to recover because he don't want to miss this flight. He trying to recover. But they like, hey, if you having this situation going on, then this is about a 4-hour flight, bro. We ain't about to turn around, so you might need to get yourself checked out. Get on the next flight. We sat at the gate for about 25 minutes before he got up and got off the plane. There was a lady with him. And I feel like she was over there making real decisions like, damn. I could still go and have fun for the both of us. I could still go. I think she was still trying to figure out, because she didn't get off the plane right away when he had to get off. EMS took him off, and she sat there. If they pull off, then they just left him. Probably about 15 minutes later, they come and get her and was like, hey, so you going? And she decided to go ahead and get up and get off the plane. Now this whole time, we're waiting. Now they got to go and find their bags. Because we're taking an international flight. They don't want to have to send those bags back. So now we got to wait for them to find the bag. We get that nice little message. This is your captain speaking. We are still experiencing a little bit of a delay because we got to go find the bag. We'll be taking off here in about 15 minutes or so. So just sit back, relax. We'll make up a little time in the air. But yeah, that's what's happening. All right, well, cool. Like, you don't want nobody to die on the plane. I get it. I get it. I got that much compassion. Like, I figure we on the plane and ain't nothing wrong with the plane. Oh, before we got on the plane, we were delayed some because they had a mechanical issue that they needed to fix, which part of the dialogue that the passengers were having is, just tell us to hold on. Y'all can't get on yet because we gotta do something. Everybody gonna be cool with having to wait a little while just to make sure that this plane is working. This ain't like hopping in your car and driving with the check engine light on. How many check engine lights on right now? How many of them tire signals when you riding around needing the oil change? You know how many of y'all would freak out if they was like, they tried to put you on the plane where the check engine light was on. Any light, as a matter of fact, any of them lights on. Oh, it'll be a problem. It'll be a super problem. They be like, hey, go ahead and hop on this flight, but don't even worry about, like, if your light, the lights above your head was the same ones that was in the cockpit for your car or whatever. Like, you saw that check in, it's like, come on, you praying immediately. Dear Heavenly Father, please, Lord, just let this plane just stay in the air just for a little bit longer, Lord Jesus, please. Help us. They out here riding, taking our lives in jeopardy with this check engine light on. You wouldn't even want to get in the Uber if the check engine light was on. Yeah, I mean, look, you're looking like, hey, you sit down in that Uber and one of them lights on their dashboard. Because I know if you are nosy, like I'm a little nosy, you gonna look. You gonna look. You gonna make sure fam got enough gas. Hey, yeah, your gas light is on, cuz you need to stop. Cause you getting 1 star. You getting 1 star if I gotta call another one. If we end up walking. 1 star, revoke your driver's license type review. What we're not gonna do is be out here running out of gas. Now, if you gotta stop, that's one thing. I would rather you stop than us be out here getting our walk on. That would be insane. But we finally get to Curacao. Get our bags. We get to the little condo that we staying in. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. Like it was dope. Right off Mambo Beach. Weird ass name before beach, but I get it. We in another country. It's even weird saying Mambo, Mambo, Mambo. Why would anybody do that? Just chose to. But on Mambo Beach, we went out and we was walking around a little bit. First night out eating, and we see some white on white crime. Shameful white on white crime. Non-English speaking white on white crime. Yeah, that happened. And so we sitting at our dinner table and I see this white dude pushing this white girl in this wheelchair with the wheels up like they having a grand old time. And I'm like, wow, yeah, I'm thinking to myself like, man, this is y'all real reckless with the handicap. But next thing you know, you see a guy running behind him yelling and not speaking English, but you know what this means. You know what that means. Even if you don't understand what was going on, you know it when you see it. You know when you see the Euro, even if you don't understand, you know that universal. It was one of those. It was stern too, real stern. And I'm like, oh man, somebody was out here violating. But I didn't know who. Couldn't tell what was going on until the white girl got up out the wheelchair and was walking off. They were laughing. I'm like, did the whites just steal a wheelchair? Oh God. Oh gosh. This white on white crime is out of pocket over here. Like they out here stealing wheelchairs. And I'm like, and so in my mind, I'm like, okay. There's a guy chasing a couple that's pushing a wheelchair. And behind the guy that was running with his middle finger up was a lady in a wheelchair. And so in my mind, I'm like, who wheelchair did they steal if she's in one and she mad and this dude can walk and he mad? And it wasn't until we got up from the table and started walking back towards where we were staying that we saw two wheelchairs. One was occupied and the other one was sitting next to a chair that somebody was actually at the table. And I was like, that's some shit I wouldn't think to do, is take somebody's wheelchair. But now it makes sense. Because y'all remember I told y'all this story about I was living in Korea, and when I was living in Osan, on my side of the tracks, there weren't no stores or anything like that. So most of the time I had to get up, go over the tracks. And one day, at the top of the platform, I saw somebody had used a bike chain to chain up their walker. Yeah. Now, if you got your walker up there, I feel like you still need it wherever it was that you was going. But you was like, I'm going to make sure don't nobody steal my walker. So you're going to put this bike chain on it. Hey, y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. I don't get it. I don't get it one bit. But, man, let me fast forward just a little bit. So, man, one of the places that we went to this slave museum, this African slave museum, and I don't remember the last time, because I stopped being upset with the Chocolate Menendez kids. I have been doing better at managing my emotions, but being in that spot, being in this place where our tour guide was telling us stories about how some of the slaves were being transported and stuff like that, and I was just like, all right, I got an attitude. Like I got a little bit of an attitude right now. And when I say a little bit of attitude, it's kind of a big attitude because I'm seeing it, and I'm like, who would do these things? What type of person would do these things? What type of person would even create these type of devices for torture? That bothered me because you see it, and this made it even worse. There was there were Caucasians in there. And I understand. They probably go see this stuff more than we do. But that don't mean I ain't had no attitude with them either. I was looking upside their heads, and if you better not even say, excuse me, you wait. Not in here. I will not move. I'm sorry. I got a big attitude. Cause, I was kind of thinking about it in the car and on the way back from it. Cause I could feel the emotion. Like it was wild. And I was like, when I go to a place like that, I see a movie or a TV show that depicts slavery in some kind of way, shape, or form. There's no getting around that. I'm trying not to cuss right now, but it was really, really messed up. Evil. And people justified it. And so, but seeing it from a black person's perspective, however it played out, it's hard to see yourself it's hard not to look at this situation and not see like, all right, these are my people being mistreated. So when I see a Caucasian, and most of them didn't speak English, or they weren't speaking English in there, they may have spoken English. There's no way that they could put themselves in and see. I can't see. I'm not gonna say that there's no way. I can't personally see how they could see it from our perspective. Like it's just information for them. But if they're looking at it from the viewpoint of the people that look like them, because as I was thinking about it, I have no way to potentially put myself or look at it from their point of view. Because it doesn't make sense. Like I'm not built like that where I could just see myself mistreating people in that way. I ain't gotta know you. I ain't gotta love you, but I just don't go around mistreating people in that way. But that bothered me. That bothered me in the worst of ways. But that was just the first part of the tour. By the end of the tour, they probably set it up like that because it was heavy in the beginning, and it lightened up towards the end when they were showing all the inventions and how some of the Africans lived and whatnot. And so that part was dope. And like I said, it lightened it up a lot. But even when I left, I was like, you know what? Somebody might confuse me for racist right now. and I'm trying not to be that person, but like they even had like they had an exhibit that involved the Ku Klux Klan robe. And they had it standing in the doorway. And it was about 4 times that I thought to knock that exhibit over. Like, I legit thought to knock that one over. I had a big problem. Like when I saw it, I immediately had a big fucking attitude. Sorry. I had one of those attitudes like I need a break. I need a minute. So I stepped away from the group a few times because I needed a minute to process what I was seeing. That shit is bothersome. Because you know what it represents. You know what it represents, and when you see it, and it's like, hey, there's some people out here that's proud of that. There's people out there that rock with it right now. That's wild. That's tough. And so, I will tell you though. I will tell you on a brighter note. What's up, mailman? How you living, brother?
What's up, Slick?
Man, it's been a minute, man.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
It's echoing like late. Is it doing it on your end?
Nope.
Okay.
But I will tell you. I was talking about Curacao, man, and I just talked about this slave museum. But this man, it has some beautiful beaches out there. But if you didn't have your you didn't have your shoes on. Though, the little water shoes. Hey, some of them beaches have feet initiations. Like, yeah, she can hear echo on your side.
Yeah. Let me jump out like that.
All right. And so, yeah, some of them beaches had a foot initiation. And what I mean by it, so you had a beach, and then it's just like probably about 2 to 3 feet a hard rock that you had to get over in order to get into the bluest of blue waters. But that foot initiation wasn't no joke. It wasn't no joke. They called it, online they say it's a little pebbly. No, them rocks was rocking. It was madness. It was nonsense. And speaking of nonsense, we did an ATV tour, right? We driving. I drive first. And you know what? I probably should have drove second. I should have let my wife drive first so I could have paid her back. Now, these were the rules. Hey, don't push no buttons. Hey, don't worry about changing the gears, and don't put your arms and stuff out the window, because every bush and every bush got thorns on it, and it's cacti everywhere. And I'm like, all right, cool. Just don't run my wife into no bushes, and as long as she don't press no buttons, we all right. And so I'm driving, boom, boom, boom. They take us over this rough terrain. They had us out in the streets and whatnot. I am very careful to try not to have my wife bouncing all over the place and having a real rough ride, even though it is an ATV on terrain. Now, one of the coolest parts of it is, have you ever seen one of those the wind turbine things that look like they like real tall, got the 3 blades on it? We pulled up to a row of those that was right off the water. And when I tell you, I have never seen I've never seen one up close. You see them, but usually it's like from a plane, or you just driving by them. Yeah, they might look tall, but when you standing right up under one of them and it's windy as hell, they rocking. They rocking, and that little blade, and I say little, but it's huge, it's swinging. Woo, woo. And if you standing up under it and it's leaning over, in my mind, I'm like, if something was to happen, how can I get away from this? Because this is going to be all bad. gonna be all bad. Probably one of the dopest things I saw was that damn wind turbine, because I felt like I was in a vortex. Like I looked up at it and got dizzy. But you know what? When I was standing up under it, I was like, damn. If something go wrong with one of these things, somebody got to fix it. You got to climb up this. I don't know. It had to be about 200 feet in the air. Somebody got to paint that thing. And you know what? Hell no. Hell no. And you know what? So, if I told y'all that there was a place that had some birds that was more aggressive than them birds in New York, you probably wouldn't believe me, because you know those pigeons in New York are aggressive. There's some birds in Curacao. They all got a black ring around their eye. These are some of the most aggressive birds I've never been around in my life. The ladies went to go get some food at the beach. And as soon as they sat down, 30 birds. They all in the trees over their food. They all walking up, landing behind their chairs and whatnot. All over some chili cheese fries and some wings. Them birds are so out of pocket. And so when I tell you I don't mess with birds. I don't like birds because I don't know what they're gonna be doing. Like they made a whole movie about reckless birds. Like the birds was the first. Like I almost feel like the birds was probably one of the first horror animal movies. Why? Because they crazy. Because they crazy. And they got little brains. One of the funniest things I saw when I was on the... all right. So, I'm going to come back to that. So at an all-inclusive resort, most people go to all-inclusive resorts because they do not want to buy liquor every time they want to drink. Here's the problem with some all-inclusive resorts versus others, is that all bartenders are not created the same. They're just not. The first bartender that we walked up to, which is the one that looked like Charmaine's daughter. As soon as we walked up, she was like, the real bartender's on break. I don't really know what I'm doing. So what you doing back here then? Because I feel like you about to mess something up. So we had Jack and Coke. Keep it simple. Jack and Coke, keep it real simple. She put far more Coke in there than Jack. I was like, yo, you wildin'. So I never went back to her. Any bar that she worked at, whatever I was getting, I was just gonna get it straight. On the rocks. Clean. However, whatever it was that she understood, I don't need you to mix with nothing. As I was talking about those drinks, it was about to start getting a little crazy. Wow. About to have some pause moments in there. But I got dressed early, went to the bar one day, and there was a bartender at the lobby bar named Jason. And Jason was wildin'. Jason with an EI in his name. I asked him for a Jack and Coke because it's safe. I don't know how you get down, but Jack and Coke is a safe way to find out. The Jack and Coke was strong. All right, cool, man. What's going on, man? I appreciate you, buddy. Hey, I need this type of drink for my wife. he starts making it, and he's looking through the three choices, and he was like, "I'll make a combo." But before he makes the combo, he's like, "Let's take a shot." Damn, dog, what you doing? He pours up a shot. Boom. We take the shot. I'm not even done with my Jack and Coke yet. In the middle of him waiting on the coffee part of her drink to make, he makes another drink. Hey, Jason, this is a Boston Sour. Got egg whites in it. Got this, and this. Boom, you're going to like it. Here you go. Bam. Pours that drink. It's an over pour. He pours it in another cup and sets it over. I'm sitting here looking like a super lush because I have 4 drinks sitting in front of me. And now my wife is wondering where I am. I probably didn't make it clear that I was going to just bring it and I wasn't going to come right back, but drinks started happening. People started coming. More drinks started happening. Hey, people started coming. It's crazy. People started showing up to the bar. Like, it was a good time. And now my party, I'm 3 minutes late and my party is ready to eat. And I still got 4 drinks and now her drink just came. And I'm like, I'm on my way. But by that time, they had already sent somebody to come get me. And so I was just like, that's my bad. That's my bad, but that's my bad. Wasn't what was. I didn't want to hear that. And I understand it. I was wilding. I know it. That's my bad. That is my bad. I got to do something real quick. That boy toasted. Yeah, it was bad. It was real bad. Let me see how bad it was. This how it was on the Boston Sour. It was crazy.
About the quarter, you only had 1 field goal, and what does it say about that this team can pull out a win like this when you're not having your best offensive game?
Yeah, it's really important. You never know what's going to happen. There's going to be highs and lows of a season, highs and lows of a game, and be able to fight through and still find a way to impact is very important for us, especially at this point in the season. So.
Look, I was just like that with that drink. I was like, damn, they done messed up. I was trying to avoid. Yeah, I had messed up a little bit. I was like, dang, this is good. I like that drink. I was straight on the Karmelo Anthony Town side of the game. It was ridiculous. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it was super ridiculous. And so yeah, I ended up getting down there. But so we were at one of those all inclusives where you had access to the other beach, other resorts. But where ours was, it was looked at as, this is the high one. We were staying at the high dollar one that had access to the chain resort. And so when I went to one of the bars and I asked for an espresso martini, and she started making it, and my wife's friend was like, "Hey, see what kind of vodka they have." All right, well, cool. I checked and see what kind of vodka that they had, and the bartender was like, "Hey, this is all I have. This is all I have." It was some bottle that had just vodka on there. Said this was a local brand, and that's all they had. And I was like, "So you don't have Tito's or nothing back there?" Nah. I mean, where you staying? Oh, I'm staying at Zoetry. I'm in 732 in Zoetry. So, okay. Hold on. Hey, Jermail, go ahead and can you go get some Tito's? Tito's. Zoetry is the magic word, because y'all was about to give me some nonsense. Y'all wildin'. Y'all are wildin'. Bartenders going wild. They hoarding all the good liquor, and they was giving. So if you stayed at Dreams, all you had was bottom shelf liquor. Jim Beam, and they had E&J, and they was drinking that over there. And so, look, I did want to talk about this before. On the way back, one of the coolest sights ever. And I wish I knew it. I knew it was about to happen. I didn't get my phone out in time. But the World Cup has started. Curacao, this was their first game ever in the World Cup. And when we got to the airport, we got to the airport about 10 minutes before the game was getting ready to start. And so when we get there, I'm seeing all these people with that lime green vest on, just sitting around. They chilling. Everybody watching the game, and I'm like, shit, ain't none of these planes about to take off on time. All our bags about to be late as hell. Like, they're not getting ready. We not getting ready to take off. And so while we're waiting on our departure time, the game is on. Curacao versus Germany. I told my buddy that Germany probably gonna score about 5 goals, but if I had to bet, I'd bet it at 4. And Germany scored first, and then Curacao got close, and they scored, and this happened. Insanity. I was so happy for those people for that 2 minutes that the game was tied up. When I tell you they was so damn happy. Like, I know if it was like that in the airport, that wherever they were watching that game, I know they had a screen up downtown and at any of the bars in the neighborhood. I know that they were going crazy, because I know they looking at it like, we tied with Germany. This is our first World Cup goal ever. Man, it was so dope. It was so dope to be in that environment. Now the crazy thing was, before they scored, they cheered for everything. The goalie got a stop, cheer. The first attack on goal, dude kicked the ball 10 feet over the net, and they was like, ah. And so they was ready. They was ready, and when that happened, they blew the roof off. Now, they ended up losing to Germany 7-1. But that first goal, it was lit. Now, by the time it got to be 5-1, everybody had to go back to work. They knew what time it was. And speaking of knowing what time it was, I got home. I talked to my dad for a second. He was talking about the UFC, and I was slow to turn it on. And when I turned it on, I knew what this was. I knew exactly what this was. And it was so weird, because being somebody that's lived in South Korea, I was so close to the North Korean propaganda. And being that close to it, you kind of, you see it. But you also know the reality of they will have you think that everything in North Korea is cool, all fine and dandy. But it ain't that. And what I saw on this UFC 250 Happy Birthday America and all this stuff, I was like, oh, this is a propaganda piece. This is all this is. I mean, I get it. I see what you're doing. And what I wasn't going to say nothing until that it was a commercial that came on. And I was surprised that they had Obama in it, but we get into that here in a second. They had all these presidents talking about wars and all this other stuff. And he was in it too. But at the end, I don't think I'd ever seen war.gov before. But it flashed, boom, boom, at the end of the commercial. And I was like, wait. What.gov? This feels rather new. That felt rather new. Wow. And so I turned it on. I turned UFC on right as Derek Lewis was about to fight. And I don't like to tell nobody what to do, but it's about time for this brother to hang it on up, fam. I wouldn't fight you, but it's about time for you to hang it up, brother. Like when Derek Lewis lose, it looks so bad. When he get beat up, it looks so bad. I don't like it. UFC was always a struggle because I was like, dang, I don't want to see black people out here getting beat up. That street fight stuff is only cool when it's working. But when he pushed Derek Lewis down, Derek Lewis looked like a turtle. He didn't know what to do. He was just getting beat on. Tired. Not a fan. Look, the UFC is not one of those sports that you can just stay in if you no longer good. Because they're gonna beat the shit out of you. That's bad. Like if you ain't good, UFC ain't what you should be doing. Like you lose 2 fights in a row, you gotta shut it down. I feel like you should. Like I feel like that's like the cutoff. Like, oh, you lost twice? So you know winning ain't getting to the top of the food chain. Ain't gonna be part of your future, brother, cause this right here, you looking bad, man. I'm gonna put you in front of people that I need to make look good. Yeah, he got the brakes beat off him. He got beat up so bad. And I'm like, damn. But then, I'm not even going to play the clip. What's the dude named? Josh Hochuk or whatever? He's a maniac. And there are certain people that you just should not give a microphone to. And as he was getting ready to answer some questions, he decided to take a swipe at Michelle Obama. An unsolicited swipe. A swipe at somebody who hadn't been first lady in 10 years. The fact that it was unsolicited, I get like some people just be out here trying to go viral. My goal is I just want to go viral. But to take a shot at Michelle Obama. You've been thinking about Michelle Obama. You were just hoping that you was going to be able to win in this situation, and you had the worst version of Derek Lewis that I've ever seen. For you to get this victory. But to get up there and say that nonsense, whether you believe it or not, it's weird. After it happened, Michelle Obama was trending on Twitter. Not this guy. And there were very few people that were like disgusted by it or, defending Michelle Obama. And then there were people that was like, man, this is my new favorite fighter. And I was like, why does Michelle Obama matter to y'all so much? In that way. If you're not rocking with her. It's been 10 years since Obama been in office. At least. Why y'all still talking about him? He ain't doing nothing. Absolutely unprovoked. Unsolicited shot. Y'all didn't say what y'all was saying about Michelle Obama when Melania Trump was out here plagiarizing her speech. Let's see, Pops. Probably the same people that pay him pay De'Aaron Fox. That's crazy. Yeah, look, getting paid extra money for that is wild because there was no, hey. There was no apology from the announcers, which made me believe that everybody was in on the bit. I remember when Roy Hibbert, after a playoff game, said something in the post-game presser. He used to play for the Indiana Pacers. He said, no homo. And that no homo got him a $75,000 fine. 75 G's for no homo. But you can call somebody by name. If it was worth it to them or her, hey man, I'll see you in court. I'll see you in court. You ain't got no reason to talk about me, cuz. Hey, if Barack Newsom be 613s, he might have to make a phone call or two. Like, hey. Yeah, hello? Yeah? You heard what he said. Yeah. You know. All right. Call me when it's done. Hey, I'm not saying that he would do such a thing. At the same time, hey, it's been a whole lot of wild stuff. The Karmelo Anthony thing, the reaction to it, however it played out, yeah, a stabbing happened, right? I'm not going to argue whether it happened or not, but hey, man, if you feel like you need to carry around something to protect yourself, I am not going to be the one to tell you not to. I don't care how big or small the person is that's trying to do something to you. If you felt the need to use it, like he wasn't just using it while he was chilling by himself. I tell everybody, sometimes you gotta leave folks alone. Now, the outrage, I understand. When the outrage is, hey, yes, a crime happened. And if everybody that stabbed somebody that got into an altercation before that got 35 years that stabbed somebody in the state of Texas, all right, cool. If everybody got 35 years, we ain't having this conversation because that's what you get. And it don't matter what you look like. You get into an altercation and have it is that you end up stabbing somebody and your lawyer is trash and he in on the bit. The jurors don't look like you. They in on the bit. The judge don't look like you and he in on the bit. The bit across the board need to be 35 years. And nobody will have anything to say because it's 35 years for everybody. It can't be 35 years in one situation, 10 years in another situation, and 10 years probation and 30 days in jail for a different situation that all involved some stabbing. That all involved a life being lost. This is all anybody's saying. That, yeah, if he got to go to jail, then why he got to get triple what these other people got? And so when they draw the conclusion, they look at it, then it's looked at like, oh, well, he don't look like the two that didn't get as much. Like, they got 20 years together. He got 35 by himself. Yeah. You wouldn't be real if you couldn't admit there's something about that just don't seem right, or you part of the bit too. That's all it means. That's all that means. Is that if you complicit and you be like, well, yeah, he deserved 35, but yeah, when this dude stabbed somebody else in the back that was running from him, he should only get 10. Why? Because he chased somebody and stabbed somebody in the back. But he didn't go up there stabbing, they approached him. But if the people online, wherever they stood on it, if they were like, oh well, it's fair. Hey man, y'all weird, bro. Like I'm just saying, like y'all weird, or you might be racist. But a little bit is still. That's how that works. If you're a little, then you're still. That's the loud part. Hey, you know what? Real quick before I get out of here, I want to give a shout out to the New York Knicks for winning the championship. I called it because I just knew that young teams don't win. Not yet. The last young team to make it to the finals, I feel like it was in 2011 when OKC had Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Serge Ibaka, and they did not win. Wasn't that they weren't good, they just was too young. But what I will tell you is this right here, the aftermath of games that ended in New York where Spurs fans wore their jerseys to the game or out on the street and they were getting them shits ripped off. That's some bullshit. Like, it's one thing to go in somebody else's home gym and try to flaunt your away jersey. But if you ain't being disrespectful, you just got it on because it's what you chose to wear, and somebody come try to peel it off of you, that is crazy. I know them jerseys high. Let me see how much is a jersey now. I ain't worn no jersey in so long. I've seen a Tim Duncan jersey get ripped. I'm gonna do Tim Duncan instead of Wemby. Tim Duncan jersey for sale. I know you lying. Wait, folks out here paying $130, $150 for jerseys? For Tim Duncan? Damn. Hey, yo, that's crazy. So if Tim Duncan 150. And this is crazy. This is something new to me. All right, so but the Wemby jersey is $79. A black Wemby jersey you can get for $80. On the official Spurs site, it's $150. Nike is $125. Listen, somebody tear something off of my body that's $125. Hey, I got it. You got to run that bread, man. I'm about to record. I'm filing charges. I ain't about to get jumped over no jersey. But that's some real bully shit. And so when they did it, when some people in San Antonio ripped off a Knicks jersey, I'm like, see, now y'all getting out of pocket. Like, you can't even wear jerseys now. That's crazy. Y'all crazy. Like, let's not do those things. People work too hard. It make you not even want to wear your jersey in another spot. Like, I get it. I've been to games where the Bears played the Falcons. You should be able to wear your Bears shirt without somebody trying to pull on it. The audacity. I've been to Bulls games here in Atlanta, and I'm like, don't touch me. I can wear what I want. This ain't like pulling up to a Crip set wearing all red, talking about what's up and whatever the call is and throwing up gang signs. This ain't that. Or is it? Because the reaction can't be, it just can't be that. That's out of pocket. I don't care about you. I talk trash to Green Bay Packer fans all day. Never once have I thought to try to rip one of their shirts off. It's the ugliest shirt that anybody has ever made. And yet and still, I have never thought to rip it off. That's their own failure. That they decided to put on such an ugly combination of colors. But I ain't got to rip it off. That's crazy. But look, good people, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hey, look, we got a lot going on, so we kind of had to push the release of the foster parent blueprint back a week or two. But prior to the family reunion, it's going to go up. But before I get out of here, I want to leave y'all with this real quick. It's something I was thinking about while I was walking on the beach. So enjoy. And until next time, good people, y'all stay safe out in these streets. It's so dope. I advise everybody to get out and see this one time. Wherever you can find it. Just see it one time. Experience it one time. Change your life. Go get you a passport and go see it. Do it. Do it.